Mark leaned against the kitchen counter, sipping his beer, completely calm. $3,000 isn't bad for something that old, he said. We could use it for a vacation. I turned to look at him, really look at him, tall, clean-cut, confident. He always knew what to say to clients. He made good money in sales. On the surface, he seemed like the perfect husband, but right then, standing there in our kitchen, brushing off 4 years of my hard work like it was nothing, he looked like a stranger. That car was worth $400,000, I said quietly. He nearly dropped his beer. What? It was a 1967 Shelby Cobra 427, only 348 were ever made. I spent 4 years restoring it, every nut and bolt, to get it ready for auction in Scottsdale. His face went pale. You never told me it was worth that much. You never asked. In all our years of marriage, you never once showed real interest. You just complained that I spent too much time working on it. But my mom said it was just an old junky car. Your mom committed theft, Mark. She sold something that didn't belong to her. She got scammed because she didn't know what she was doing. She sold it to a criminal using a fake name. Mark put down his beer, hands shaking. Can we get it back? I don't know yet. The police are looking into it, but these kinds of guys, professional car thieves, they use sites like Craigslist to find people who don't understand what they're selling. Mark dropped his head into his hands. Oh God, what are we going to do? I finally let myself smile, but not a warm smile. This one was sharp and cold. We're not going to do anything. I'm working with the police. You are going to talk to your mother about boundaries and consequences. The next morning, my phone rang. It was Carmen, my friend who had helped me throughout the restoration. I found your car, she said, her voice full of excitement. I rushed into my office and closed the door. Where? Scottsdale. A collector named James Morrison bought it from a dealer for $250,000. That means someone flipped it fast and made a huge profit. It was worth $400,000 when fully restored, I said. I know, but Morrison's a real collector. He doesn't flip cars. When I told him what happened, he was horrified. He's willing to help. You mean he'll give it back? Yes, he has all the paperwork showing where he bought it. The dealer has records from the fake buyer, David Johnson, and you have the bill of sale from Patricia. We can trace it all. I finally took a deep breath. So I'm getting it back? Yes, it'll take some time for paperwork, but the car is safe. It's being held as evidence for now. That evening, I called for a family meeting. Mark sat looking exhausted. Patricia showed up late, like she had nothing to worry about. She walked in, sat down, and said, I don't know why we're doing this. I already explained to Mark. I sold that old car for a fair price. I kept calm. Patricia, you need to understand something. That car was worth $400,000. She frowned. That's not possible. It was just an old. It was a 1967 Shelby Cobra 427, one of the rarest cars ever made. I spent 4 years restoring it. She looked confused, but it looked like junk. I pulled out my tablet and showed her pictures. This is what it looked like when I first found it. A rusted shell in a barn. She sniffed. Still looks like junk to me. I showed her more photos. This is after I cleaned the body, then the engine, my grandfather's tools, the leather seats, the gauges. With each photo, her confidence started to crumble. And this, I said, showing the last photo, is what you sold for $3,000. A perfectly restored Cobra, gleaming in our garage. It looked brand new. Patricia's face turned pale. I didn't know. The man you sold it to wasn't a nice kid looking for a hobby. He's a thief. He gave a fake name. The police are looking for him. Mark looked stunned. A car thief? Yes, he preys on people like you, who think they're helping but don't understand what they're doing. I continued. The police found the car. A collector bought it, and he's helping us. Patricia looked hopeful. So, we can get it back? I can get it back, I said, but you need to know, what you did was a felony. The DA is looking into charges. She blinked. A felony? Yes, stealing something worth over $100,000 is a first-degree felony. It comes with prison time. Mark dropped his face into his hands. Mom, what did you do? Patricia's voice broke. I was just trying to help. I thought it was just taking up space. You thought you knew better, I said. You thought my hobby wasn't worth anything, so you decided to fix it without asking. Patricia cried. Mascara running. I'll pay you back, I swear. I shook my head. With what? You sold it for $3,000. Mark tried to jump in. We'll figure something out. Alone, maybe. No, I said, this isn't something you fix with money. Your mother stole something priceless. The law will handle it now. Over the next few weeks, the investigation moved quickly. Morrison was kind and cooperative. The dealer gave up the thief to avoid charges, and the man who had taken my car turned out to be part of a bigger crime ring. Patricia took a plea deal, 5 years probation, community service, and monthly payments to try and repay me, but the truth was, the trust was gone. Mark and I tried counseling, but we were too different. He wanted someone who made him look good. I wanted someone who respected me for who I really was. 6 months after the theft, we divorced. It was peaceful. He kept the house. I took my tools and moved to a smaller place with a big garage. The Cobra came back to me, safe and undamaged. Morrison even paid to have it inspected, but I couldn't bring myself to finish it. It reminded me too much of everything I'd lost. So I sold it, properly, through an auction. It sold for $420,000. With that money, I bought something else, a 1970 Plymouth Cuda, not as rare, but special to me. My grandfather used to drive one, and it was the car I first learned to fix. Now, I work on it just for me. No pressure, no auctions, just the joy of bringing something old back to life. Sometimes, neighbors stop by and watch me work. Some are surprised to see a woman doing it, most just admire the car. Mark still sends polite texts sometimes. Holidays, birthdays, I always reply kindly, but that chapter is closed. Patricia and I don't speak anymore. That's for the best. Carmen visits once in a while to check on my progress. One day she ran her hand over the newly painted Cuda and smiled. I think this one's going to be better than the Cobra, she said. I wiped my hands and nodded. This one's just for me. No more trying to prove anything, just doing what I love. She smiled. Sounds like you learned a lot. Maybe I did. Sometimes, it takes someone trying to steal your dream to show you how much it really means to you, and sometimes, the worst betrayal becomes the push you need to build the life you truly want. After I hit send on the email with the evidence of Diana's theft, I sat back and stared at the screen. My heart was racing, but I also felt strangely calm. What I'd done couldn't be taken back. The truth was out now. There would be consequences, for Diana, probably for my parents, and definitely for whatever was left of my relationship with them. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't going to let them keep walking all over me. I wasn't going to keep pretending things were fine while they continued to lie, take advantage of me, and treat me like I didn't matter. I poured myself a glass of wine, finished it slowly, and went to bed. As I lay there in the dark, I felt surprisingly at peace. Whatever came next, at least I had finally stood up for myself. That mattered. That was something. The next few days were quiet. I threw myself into work, grateful for the distraction. I didn't hear anything from my family, which didn't surprise me. They were probably still caught up in celebrating Diana's promotion, completely unaware of the storm I had just set in motion. By Wednesday, I started wondering if Mr. Garrett had just ignored my email. Maybe he thought it was just family drama. Maybe Diana had managed to cover it up somehow. I didn't know, but a part of me started to think nothing would come from it. Then, my phone rang. It was Edward Garrett. His voice was serious. Gone was the familiar warmth from the family gatherings I remembered. I wanted to thank you for the information you provided, he began. My stomach flipped. You found something? We did, he replied with a heavy sigh. Our security team started an investigation after your tip. Turns out, the theft went much deeper than we thought. It wasn't just Diana. Our head accountant was involved too. They were working together. I sat down slowly, my legs suddenly weak. How long has this been going on? Nearly 2 years, he said. About $90,000 stolen in total. They started small but got bolder. Just last month, they took almost $12,000. I was stunned. Diana had asked me for $5,000 to cover up her mess, and all along, she'd been planning to keep stealing. I wish I could handle this quietly, Mr. Garrett continued, but I have responsibilities to the company and our investors. I've already contacted the authorities. I understand, I said softly. My head was spinning, but I knew he was doing the right thing. I wanted you to hear it from me before you heard it elsewhere. I know this will hurt your family. I'm sorry, but theft is theft, no matter who does it. After the call, I sat in silence for a long time. What I'd done wasn't just about exposing Diana anymore. This was serious, criminal. She could be arrested, and even though a part of me felt guilty, another part remembered her walking away from me at the party, after taking my money, calling me jealous in front of everyone. A few more days passed. I expected the fallout to come quickly, but everything was still quiet, too quiet. Then, Friday night, it all blew up. My phone lit up with calls and messages. First came Diana, screaming into my voicemail, calling me every name in the book. She knew I had turned her in. Then came my mother's voice, loud and full of fury. How could you do this to your sister, after all we've done for you? You've ruined her life. I didn't respond. I turned my phone off. The next morning, there was loud banging at my apartment door. I looked through the peephole and saw my parents, both red in the face and furious. Lesie, open this door right now, my father shouted. We know you're in there, my mother added. You need to fix this. Call Edward and make him drop the charges. I didn't open the door. I just stood there, and finally spoke through it. I'm not doing that. She's your sister, my mom cried. They took her to the police station. Do you even understand what you've done? I know exactly what I've done, I said calmly. I reported a thief. Diana stole $90,000. That's not a mistake, Mom, that's a crime. She made some bad choices, but this is too far, my dad argued. You need to fix this. No, she's an adult. She made her choices. Now she has to deal with the consequences. How dare you, my mom shouted, after everything we've sacrificed for you. That was it. That word, sacrificed, broke me. When have you ever sacrificed anything for me? I snapped. You didn't pay for college. You didn't help me with my job. You didn't even celebrate my promotion without turning it into Diana's party. You're just jealous, my dad said. You always have been. I'm not jealous. I'm tired of being overlooked, tired of watching you bail Diana out of every mess she creates, while I have to do everything on my own. If you don't fix this, my mom said coldly, you're no longer part of this family. I gave a bitter laugh. Was I ever part of it to begin with? The silence on the other side of the door said everything. Diana's a thief, I said. She stole from her job and from me. You raised her to think she could get away with anything. Well, not this time. Now go help her. I'm done. I heard my mom sob and my dad curse under his breath as they finally walked away. That night, my mother posted a public message online. It read, "It is with great sadness that we must announce that Lesie is no longer considered a member of the Wilson family. Her betrayal and actions against her own sister cannot be forgiven." Some relatives commented in confusion. Some defended me. Others attacked me without knowing the full story. I didn't respond. Let them think what they wanted. The people who truly knew me wouldn't believe the lies. On Monday, Mr. Garrett called again. Your parents came to see me, he said. Your mother begged, literally got on her knees, asking me to drop the charges. They even took out a large loan to pay back the full amount. Of course they did. They'd do anything to protect Diana. I agreed to withdraw the formal complaint, he added, but both Diana and the accountant have been fired, and I've informed our partners they shouldn't be trusted with financial roles. I thanked him. It wasn't justice in full, but it was something. Diana wouldn't go to jail, but at least she wouldn't be able to steal again so easily. Months passed. I didn't hear from my parents or Diana, and for the first time, I was okay with that. Then one evening, my cousin Rachel called. Have you heard, Mr. Garrett pulled his money from your dad's business. It's falling apart. I paused. Wow. And Diana? She's working at Marshfields now, the home store at the mall. That was a long way from her corner office. How do you know all this? I asked. I still talk to your mom sometimes. She's bitter, says they had to take out a second mortgage to pay back the stolen money. After we hung up, I sat there thinking, my family always treated me like I didn't matter. Diana could do no wrong, and I was just expected to stay quiet, stay in my place. But I hadn't, not this time. The next morning, I got an email from my parents, the subject line, Final Contact. It read, "You are officially removed from our will. Diana will inherit everything. Your betrayal has cost this family deeply. We hope your revenge was worth it." I deleted it without a second thought. They still didn't get it. This wasn't about revenge. It was about respect, and finally saying enough is enough. Then I remembered something. My parents had the money. They didn't need my $5,000 for a party. It wasn't about the money, it was about control, about reminding me I would always come second. But that plan had failed. 2 weeks later, my boss called me into her office. "How would you feel about transferring to Seattle?" she asked. "It comes with a raise." Seattle was over 1,000 miles away, a fresh start, no family drama, no past hanging over me. "I'd love that," I said. A month later, I was settling into my new apartment in Seattle, a new city, a better job, more money, and peace. At my first team meeting, I was introduced as the new department head. That night, I sat in my apartment, surrounded by unpacked boxes, and smiled. Diana had tried to push me down, but I rose anyway, and I wasn't going back.